Because you can't blame a dude if his chick is at, you know what I'm saying? You can't blame him. Like, of course
like,
he's...
how do you come at him, right?
Yeah.
Like, how do you come back at him?
Then that's not my fault, too. Like, at the end of the day, like, even if you would try to come in that motherfucker, macho man, you smell me. Like, how you gonna holler at me about something? I'm not ripping her. You feel me? Like, I'm not making her do nothing up on her own.
She doing what she want to do.
Yeah, she doing what she want to do about this shit. But I'm not make her feel better.
So what's good, homies? It's your man, Dr. BOA. You know, we talked about rapper trouble and, you know, we did all the RIP and all of that. But here's the thing about life. You can live your life a certain way when you're young and get away with these things because they're mistakes. You're learning. But once you know better and you continue to live that life, you have to understand that the consequences and repercussions are going to come, and they're going to come in fast and hard. Someone just released a older video of Trouble talking about his situation with a married woman. Now, I'm not pointing a finger at the guy because when I was a much younger man, I messed around with married women as well. I think maybe we all did, most of us anyway. But the way he was bragging about it and saying that, hey man, it ain't my fault. That's your woman. I didn't force her to do anything, which is true. But something that he said in that video is what I like to call poking the bear and daring it to roar. He stated that he wasn't worrying about anybody running up on him, doing anything to him about their wife. Now, I tell you men all the time, wife just doesn't mean legal marriage. If you and a woman are living together in the same household, like man and wife, then that is your wife. The piece of paper doesn't matter, not to the Most High. Let's take a deep dive on this one. But first, let's elevate to a higher plane. Prepare for takeoff. Now, as men, we have to understand that there are consequences and repercussions to pay for our actions. Men understand this pretty well in most situations. So we understand that we don't grind hard, we don't eat. Like my homie Chris Jones, Pump Chaser, said, if thou don't work it, thou don't eat it. And that's real. Either you get out here and get it or you don't have it because nobody's going to give it to you. We understand that. I understand that. You understand that. Chris understands that. Even Trouble understood that. We all understand that. But also, when it comes to dealing with women out here, man, you have to value yourself more than to just allow yourself to be the fill-in for what a woman can't get in her life at home. Let's take a listen to this video, man, and we'll come back and chop it up on the real tip.
They were married for years, you feel me? They still live to the day. Like, she had got me a whole spot and everything, like, you know what I mean?
She got you a spot.
But she got me a spot, but Buddy paying for her to go to law school, all this shit. She needs to get through traffic early and shit. Like, you know, it'd be so much traffic, so I need to really leave like an hour and a half early so I can get to school in time and shit. But really, she was just coming through there so I can jump in and tear up before she goes to school. You smell?
You don't be worried about, like, what if her man comes to your house and nothing like that?
I don't worry about them type of problem, period. Don't need no not play with me like... Like, hell no, like, I don't be tripping on that, though.
Because you can't blame a dude if his chick is at, you know what I'm saying? You can't blame him. Like, of course
like,
he's...
how do you come at him, right?
Yeah.
Like, how do you come back at him?
Then that's not my fault, too. Like, at the end of the day, like, even if you would try to come in that motherfucker, macho man, you smell me. Like, how you gonna holler at me about something? I'm not her. You feel me? Like, I'm not making her do nothing up on her own.
She doing what she want to do.
Yeah, she doing what she want to do about this shit, but I'm not make her feel better.
See, what I realized when I was younger is that it made me less of a man to be willing to fill in the gaps and do all of the things that a woman can't get at home. That made me a side dude. And if you embrace the side dude mindset, then you are less of a man. Because let me tell y'all something. No woman deserves to have another man and me, because very few women deserve to have just me. Now, as you can see, these proclamations are quite bold. I feel the same way. You know, in most situations, hey man, look, I can handle myself, you know, I can defend myself, I can make sure things are gonna be taken care of. But what we have to understand is when you're wrong, then the spirit of success, the spirits of overcoming are not with you. When you're wrong, you're going to be punished. You can't go and poke the bear and think that the bear isn't gonna scalp you, man. And in most situations in this society, we understand that. None of us is gonna go into the ops hood. None of us is gonna share business secrets with our opponents, with our adversaries, with our competitors. But in this situation, when it comes to deal with women, we all of a sudden feel like He-Man. We feel like the Incredible Hulk. And it's because of the drive and the pull of the Jezebel spirit. So when you're dealing with a woman who already has a husband, her spirit is dominating the situation, not yours, not his. Her spirit is dominating the situation. And just like in the situation that cost this brother his life, one man is gone, one man is in a cell all alone, and the woman has moved on. In more situations than not, that's how it turns out. The woman always gets the better end of the deal. Why? Because her spirit, her energy controls the dynamic. So here's a man who is risking his life to be with a woman, and here's a man who is willing to take a life to be with a woman. And when it all boils down, the woman doesn't care if she doesn't have either one of these guys because she can just move on to another one. So when I talk to you, man, about priding yourself and positioning yourself in your own mind on a higher level where you don't feel like it's okay for you to be a woman's side dude, so you don't feel like it's okay for some woman to have another man that didn't give you the time she has left over. Do you understand that being a side dude, you are embracing the time that the other man doesn't want? The only reason you're getting that time is because he doesn't want it. If he wanted the time, you wouldn't be able to get it. If she sets time for you and that man demands that time, she has to give that man that time. So like Trouble was saying in the video, when she was telling the man she had to leave an extra hour and a half early to go to school, she was stopping by for what? So all he could do was please her physically because obviously that's the thing she wasn't getting at home. And as a man, for you to be a man about getting your paper, well, how you going to brag about a woman getting you a spot? That's very immature. You're an immature man who is okay with a woman being your provider. And don't be talking about you in the game and you on the turf like the peas on the turf. You're not. The peas on the turf get the paper. A woman putting you up in the crib or taking care of you, paying your bills, that ain't the same thing, homie. She's still controlling the money. She's just doing things for you with the money. That ain't what peas do. So the bravado of what this man is saying in this video, like, hey man, this is your wife. If you don't want her to be with me, you check her. Don't check me. And then to say that these men know better, these dudes know better than to run up on me about their woman. Here's the problem with that. You got to incorporate God into all of this. Now you may think these guys are afraid of you, but God ain't. And hell have no fury like a woman scorned. But also, when you sleep with a man's wife, when it comes time for recompense, he shall take no bribe. You shall not be able to pay him off to leave the situation alone. He's coming, and he's coming for one thing, to take you out. And many men have gotten taken out like this. But I get the mindset. I'm telling you, when I was a much younger man, but I was in my 20s. We're talking about 19, 20, 21. We're talking about before I took the vow to Nazarite. I took the vow to Nazarite at 23. So we're talking about 21, 22, 20 years old. This man is in his 30s talking like this. I tell you men all the time, you can't do the same dumb things at 30 that you were doing at 20 because the Most High feels like you should have learned your lesson by now. And if you don't learn your lesson, guess what happens to you? You pay the piper. If you're in the hood and you're a jacker and you're doing that, man, hey, you're doing that in your 20s, guess what? If you're still doing it in your 30s, you're going to get laid down. You're either going to lay down or get sprayed down. That's one of the two things that's going to happen. There are no 75-year-old jackers that are still out there doing dirt. Eventually, you have to learn the lessons and move on away from the actions. And many times we don't do that. And in situations like this is the consequence. So you can get a bunch of consequences, man. I know a guy, man, who he was doing the same thing, messing with a man's wife. But the man knew it. The man kept telling him, hey, man, leave my wife alone. Yeah, I'll check my wife, but I'm checking you too. You do your part and leave my wife alone. And the guy kept saying,
No, I'm going to keep messing with her. I ain't worrying about what you saying.
Dude walked up on him, hit him in the temple. Dude ain't got no eyeballs in his face no more. Walking around with his eyes closed. They stitched them closed, man. His boy ain't got no eyes. The whole socket been stitched closed, man. Why? Because he wouldn't leave that man's wife alone. This man right here, man, he was in his 40s, almost 50 years old, man, still messing with it. Had been messing with this man's wife, man, about 10 years. And got his own wife. Had been messing with this man's wife about 10 years. This is what happens. That's why I flee the scene. No matter how tempting a woman is, if she got a man dog, I flee the scene. I know my weaknesses. I'm not finna take on that monster head on. I'm flee the scene. Call me what you want to call me. Say, BOA ran from that temptation. You damn right BOA ran from that temptation. Because it's better for me to run from that temptation than for me to get caught up in it. And that's what you men must understand. You cannot be out here playing deadly games with your physical man because it will cost you your spirit man. And many things can happen to your physical man, but you can still be here. The moment you lose that spirit man, it's over. You might as well hang it up, dog. So I want you men to keep in mind, you do the thing that is best for you. You understand what I'm saying? But when I say best for you, not the thing that feels good to you, not the thing that make you feel like a man out here. Because I'm going to be honest with you. It's hard for me to see how you can feel like a man by sleeping with another man's woman when you know deep down inside you're only there to give her the things she can't get at home. It's rare that a woman is with a side dude and wants to leave her man at home for the side dude. A woman will stick to her guns. A man is more likely to leave his wife for a side chick than a woman is to leave her husband for a side dude. Because 9 times out of 10, the husband is a boss. The side dude is willing to be laid by the woman and deal with her just based on those terms. How much are you worth? How much would you sell yourself for? Are you going to sell yourself for a place to stay when you can already afford one? Or are you going to sell yourself for a place to lay when you already got other options to get laid? Understand, young men, the life you're living right now, you better be learning lessons from it. Because 10 years from now, if you're still doing the same thing, the consequences and repercussions will be coming your way. And I promise you, they will not be child's play. Y'all comment down below and let me know what you think about this topic, man. I look forward to hearing what you men have to say. I'm out.
Alphas up, betas down, it's the motto. Simps claiming that they pimps, but they not though. Alphas up, betas down, it's the motto. Suckers claiming to be players, but they not though. Alphas up, betas down, it's the motto. Tricks acting like they max, but they not though. Alphas up, betas down, it's the motto. Betas claiming to be alpha, but they not though.
Now, I'm not gonna tell you, man, that you shouldn't value your woman at all. A woman does have value, but you can't overvalue her